brief remarks as we progress. I request that we welcome him with a clap, a warm, warm clap, the board chair to come and make some very brief remarks. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, MC. All established protocols is observed. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to very quickly introduce the members of the board who serve with me on the BOM of Alliance High School. I know they're seated somewhere at the back. If you could stand, please. Your Excellency, that's the members of the board who serve with me. Thank you very much indeed. Be seated. We also have former members of the board who are present, and they're also seated at the back there. There are quite a number. Those who have served for a very long time. Thank you very much indeed. Your Excellency, these board members, past and present, do not take sitting allowance. They serve this school without taking any allowances at all. Thank you very much indeed. I was also requested by the principal to introduce former teachers who may be present. Any former teachers who may be present? Thank you very much indeed. They all seem to be seated at the back. Thank you. You may be seated. I will request two to remain standing. We have two former principals of this school. We have Mr. Wagito. Thank you very much indeed. And we also have Mr. Haimba. Thank you very much indeed. Greetings from two former principals, the immediate former principal, Mr. William Mwangi, and Mr. David Kariuki. They send their messages with me. Thank you very much indeed. Today is a celebration, isn't it? It's a celebration. Are you celebrating? We are 100 years. We commemorate 100 years since Alliance was established by the founding churches. By the founding churches who were introduced a little bit earlier. That is why today is called the Founders' Day. When founders established Alliance High School, they had a vision. The question is, as we close the first century, has that vision been achieved? Has it been achieved? Has it been accomplished? It's a resounding yes, it has been, and actually exceeded. The vision has not only been achieved, has exceeded. Alliance is a towering pillar of excellence that has profoundly helped shape our nation and made great impact in the rest of the world. Your Excellency, as you endeavor to take Kenya to the first world, you need software developed at Alliance to accelerate that pace. We know you're already utilizing some of it, but once you get to Singapore, you need what is being baked today to sustain that tempo. These young men in green jerseys are being baked to help you in accelerating that tempo. Your Excellency, a lot of what was in my speech earlier was covered by the Chief Principal. Therefore, I'll be very brief in the remarks that I'm going to make. This school has a few needs. The Chief Principal covered most of them, but there are two that he left to me to deal with. One, we have a Trinity Chapel. This school is a Christian school founded by 4 Protestant churches. 98% of the population in this school are Christians, and we started building a chapel where they can all worship together. We're still in the construction mode. We do need some assistance to complete that chapel. It is at 90% completion. We need assistance for the 10% which is remaining. So we need some assistance there, Your Excellency. The second request that I would like to make to you, Your Excellency, is that the school has 106 teachers. Majority of these teachers live away from the campus. The school is seeking linkage between Affordable Housing Board and the Board of Management to facilitate construction of more staff houses. Suffice to say that preliminary designs had been done by the State Department for Housing and Urban Development for 60 units. We humbly seek the completion of this initiative. Your Excellency, let me deal with one other item, and that is the issue of the environment. Your Excellency, the Board of Management took a decision to cut down eucalyptus trees at Alliance High School. There are some still remaining, but we took a decision to cut most of them. I think somebody told you we cut down about 15,000 trees. These trees are being replaced with fruit trees. We have planted and continue to plant avocado trees, mango trees, and guava trees, and other fruit trees. In the next 3 years, you come here and you have a forest of fruit trees. If anyone has got a problem with our having cut down eucalyptus trees, give me one benefit of a eucalyptus tree, I'll give you 10 benefits of an avocado tree. As I finish, Your Excellency, today we celebrate Founders' Day. That is the day the first set of students entered Alliance. However, the school was officially opened by the head of the country then, the Governor of Kenya, on the 1st of October, 1926. Therefore, I stand here to invite you, all of us, to invite you, all of you, to join us celebrate the 100 years of the official opening of our school on the 1st of October, 2026, as we dedicate our new Trinity Chapel, and which we will pray will be officially opened on that particular day. Thank you very much indeed. Once again, may I thank all of you for joining us in celebrating 100 years, or the first 100 years of Alliance High School. God bless you. God bless Alliance High School. God bless our country, Kenya.
Thank you, Chair. Your Excellency, allow me to now invite the Principal Secretary, State Department of Basic Education, Ambassador Julius Bitok, to make his remarks. Let's give him a warm welcome as he comes to make his remarks.
Your Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces, the Right Honorable Speaker of Senate, our bishops presiding over this very important ceremony, our Majority Leader of the National Assembly, my friend Honorable Kimani Ichung'wah, the Cabinet Secretary for Ministry of Interior, Honorable Murkomen, PSS present, alumni, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, students and parents, good afternoon. My name is Ambassador Professor Julius Bitok, PS, State Department for Basic Education. And allow me, Your Excellency, to begin by congratulating Alliance High School for their 100 years of exemplary performance and very great leadership in this country. The spirit of this school, Your Excellency, actually captures the spirit of education in this country. And I'm pleased, Your Excellency, to note that our education system, our education as a nation, is strong, progressive, and focused on meeting our national goals. So as we celebrate here today, it's a reflection of where we are as a nation on matters education. Your Excellency, the investment in education has never been this strong. The investments both from the private sector, from the faith-based organizations, and from your government has never been strong like this. Today, we are talking about a budget of 700 billion counting going to education, something that has never happened since the beginning of this country. And this investment has gone to many areas. It has gone to labs, it has gone to classrooms, dormitories, dining halls, and many, many other areas. And we thank you, Excellency, for your leadership on this matter. And for a long time, we can recall, capitation this term was able to get to our schools before schools opened. Your Excellency, as you directed, on 20th of December, you directed that money for schools need to be sent by National Treasury to Ministry of Education. And indeed, that was what happened. And on 2nd of January, when schools were opening on 5th, all the money to our secondary schools, primary schools, and all our basic education institutions were already in schools in time before schools opened. And that is a first that has not happened for a long time. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for Your Excellency, sir, competence-based education is on a firm ground. And I want to assure Your Excellency that we are doing everything possible to ensure that our basic education institutions around the country are able to ensure that there is quality learning, working very closely with our quality assurance officers and all the stakeholders. I want to assure you that the state of competence-based education is also strong, firm, and on track. And we believe as a ministry that competency-based education is going to transform this country, indeed, from third world to first world. As I wind up, Your Excellency, allow me at this point to introduce my peers colleagues who have come to join us today. Allow me to introduce Engineer Joseph Mbugua, who is the PS for Roads and Chairman, Alliance Girls High School. Makofi kwake. Allow me, Your Excellency, also to introduce Mr. Hinga. I wanted to call him Engineer Hinga, who is the PS for State Department for Housing, and is an alumni of this school. And I will call him, Your Excellency, with your permission, to make a few remarks, having contributed a lot to make this school great. As he comes, allow me also to introduce the spokesman, Mr. Isaac Maura, who is the spokesman of the Republic of Kenya. Thank you very much. Karibu sana, PS.
Thank you very much, my colleague PS Bitok. Your Excellency, I was told that it is bad manners to speak when your boss is there, so I'm going to be very brief. Your Excellency, I had the privilege of going through this school. I asked my colleague Bitok what his school number is, and he told me the only thing he can tell me is his polling station number. My school number is 5880, class of 94. Your Excellency, it is rare, or it's an opportunity that not many people get to go through such a great institution, but also get a chance to serve fellow Kenyans. And it is a privilege to serve Kenyans. Your Excellency, when you appointed me as your principal secretary, having survived from the last government, Your Excellency, you told me one thing. You told me, I don't doubt your capacity to work. But you looked at me and you said, iko shida kidogo, lazima to fix. You said, iyo kilo yako ni mingi sana. And you told me, iyo kilo nitapunguza. So I thought you were joking. Your Excellency, 1 year ago, I was 121 kgs. When these Kenyans tulikuwa tunapigana kwa mtandao, if I give them some nice points and they had no comeback, they used to tell me I'm fat. So, Your Excellency, I'm delighted today that I'm 35 kgs lighter. And so those who doubt you, when you say that you're going to achieve something, I think they must not take you for granted. Your Excellency, just this week, we went through Westlands constituency, and you visited various schools. It's part of a program where you have asked us to put an additional 314 classrooms in the capital city. A month ago, you told us that you are ashamed of being a president where the capital city is full of rubbish, the capital city has potholes, you know, and you told us that we are going to fix it. So the same way you fixed me in 1 year, this time you told us in 6 months' time, we are going to fix Nairobi, and we don't take those words lightly. Your Excellency, lastly, you have asked us that it is unacceptable for our children to go to institutions of higher learning and they sleep in informal settlements, because majority of our students, these young people, Your Excellency, when they join institutions of higher learning, if we don't do anything, they are going to sleep in an informal settlement. And you've said that is unacceptable. And you've given us a task where at the moment as we speak, we have 210 institutions where we are putting institutional housing that we are going to accommodate 177,000 students who are going to sleep in dignity. That, I think, Your Excellency, epitomizes the spirit of public service. And Your Excellency, these people that we serve, majority of them, you'll never get to meet them, but they have faces, they have hopes, they have dreams, and they have families. And Your Excellency, we share the same umbilical cord, and that umbilical cord is called being Kenyan. And for that alone, Your Excellency, they are worthy of our service. Your Excellency, last night, as I was coming here, because the majority leader asked me to assist him in buying some meat for the boys, which I obliged, and I hope the boys enjoyed the meat last night. And of course, Your Excellency, we also bought meat for the girls. I hope the meat for the girls also arrived. No? Okay, Your Excellency, the meat for the girls is on the way. I'm going to find out. I sent Wakahio, so I don't know whether Wakahio took it to the bull. So, Your Excellency, as I was coming here yesterday, we received sad news that we had lost the chairman of my committee in Parliament, Honorable Johanna Ngeno. And Your Excellency, it was a very sad moment that reminded me just how fickle life is. Because just this week, I appeared before him in the Committee of Housing, and we were planning for a retreat to go and discuss the greater agenda of the nation. I want to leave everybody here with just a simple challenge. Today is the only day when you're guaranteed. Tomorrow does not belong to us. If you have an opportunity to do good, do it today. If you have an opportunity to tell someone I love you, do it today, for tomorrow may never come. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Charles Inga, alumni. Your Excellency, before I invite the CS for Interior to make a few remarks, allow me also to introduce the chairman of Teachers Service Commission. He's here with us. Daktari Jamlek Muturi is right here with us. And Your Excellency, Alliance High School is a school of many firsts. Today, we are also witnessing a very important project called sororization being launched right here in the Alliance High School. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for supporting us to ensure that we're able to deliver the best for our schools, the best for our basic education institutions. Allow me now, Your Excellency, to invite the Cabinet Secretary, Minister of Interior, Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen, who is also a parent in this school, to make a few remarks and continue with the rest of the program. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of our Defense Forces, all the other protocols that have been established, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Bwana Asifiwe. Your Excellency, I am privileged and honored to be speaking here, not in my capacity as an officer in your government, but also on behalf of my fellow parents. We joined this school in the year 2023 as parents, and the first assignment we were given is that we are preparing for Centenary celebrations. It looked like it was a long time ago, and I'm really truly surprised that how time has flown. When we came here as parents, Your Excellency, many of the parents, because I queued with many of my colleagues' parents here, many of us who queued here were very excited, the same excitement that our children had. And I realized the reason why. It was that finally we could say we went to Alliance. And Ichungwa really, when I left the school and I called Ichungwa and I told him, even me, I went to Alliance, told me, no, you visited Alliance. And so, Your Excellency, we are very happy and to congratulate the students, the parents, the community, the church, and particularly those who established this school 100 years ago. There is something very particular and unique about high school, or this age, this formative stage of education. I quite often, when I engage persons who are professionals, older people, it is very rare that someone speaks about the university they went to. It is very rare sometimes for people to speak about the primary school they went to. In most cases, people speak a lot about their high school. It's because it is at the stage, the age that is extremely important for person's growth is when you are in high school. Your Excellency, I went to, when I was joined the Senate in 2013, a critical number of senators, very influential and powerful, went to this school, including yours truly, Hamos Sitswila Wako, student number 1,700. It included, Your Excellency, the most troublesome of them at that point, James Orengo. It also included Anyang Nyong'o. It included, Your Excellency, Kiraitu Murungi, Chilo Ayako, and we were in Senate with all of them. And a lot of the time when they contributed in the Senate, they always spoke about, all the time about their experiences. Even though it was 50, 40, 30 years earlier, they always spoke about their experience in this school. And Your Excellency, every time they did so, the speaker would get very excited. And the speaker would even add them more time. Those of us who are given 2 minutes, the speaker would add them more time. Until I asked someone, why is the speaker favoring these students of Alliance? Only to realize that Speaker Ekwe Thuro was a student in this school, Your Excellency. Later, before I left the Senate, Speaker also, Emerson Jaffa Kingi, was also a student in this school. So this school is extremely influential. It has changed lives. It's part and parcel of our country. The history of this nation is intertwined with the history of this school. And I want to say that this is the importance of education and the encouragement we should give to all of us, including myself, who went to the school that many students who never get a chance to go to, those who never get a chance to go to the school I went to, they come to Alliance. So, Your Excellency, all of us who are alumni of different schools in the country must learn something from the Alliance High School and do everything that is possible to ensure that we give back to the society to make a difference in our school. The last thing I want to say as an encouragement to the alumni of this school is that when we came here as parents 3 years ago, we went round. My son stays in Francis, the house down there. So Mr. Chomba, the principal, walked with me up to there, and then we came back. When I reached here, the administration block, I asked him, where is the school? Because I would see very old, dilapidated structures around here. But I'm very happy that as they planned for these celebrations, the alumni, the school, and the parents have done something wonderful to support programs and projects in this school. But most importantly, you go down as a president who has supported this school immensely. It is now my greatest pleasure and privilege to invite the next speaker. And as I invite him, I just wish everybody God's blessings and success in everything you do. The next speaker is a student number 6,177. He was the captain of Smith House and the senior prefect in charge of punishment and discipline in this school. In his contributions, in his entire contributions in the National Assembly, if it is going to be printed and recorded, I think the most repeated word in his contribution is, I went to the Alliance High School. Give it up for Honorable Kimani Chungwa, our majority leader and my friend. Karibu.
Your Excellency, the President, the House of the Clergy, observing all protocols already established. Your Excellency, CS Kipchumba Murkomen has said something that is sacrilegious here. You can't refer to any other school as the school when you are the Alliance High School. Your Excellency, Bishop Muloa said that I usually mock people. But Your Excellency, I want to confess today that it is not me. The two principals who have been introduced, former principals who are here, Mr. Wagitu, who is there, was my school principal. Mr. Wagitu, if you can be upstanding, we used to call him Wags. That gentleman there, Your Excellency, is the one who would tell us at the assembly ground, young man, this is the Alliance High School. And there's only one school in Kenya. The Alliance High School and the rest. So Kipchumba Murkomen went to the rest. One of the rest, Your Excellency. And Your Excellency, in our discussions as we prepared for this occasion to celebrate 100 years of the Alliance High School, the Old Boys Club members convinced many of us that the intellect they see in you, the focus and determination to move our nation from a third world to a first world country, they all in unison agreed that that intellect could only have been found at the Alliance High School. And that is the reason why this morning, Your Excellency, the Old Boys Club bestowed you with the honorary membership to the Old Boys Club of the Alliance High School. And you can now proudly tell the world that you also went to the Alliance High School as an honorary Old Boy of the Alliance High School. Welcome to the Alliance High School, Your Excellency. And many of these men and boys, those who went ahead of these young men here, who attended this school, are all very proud to have attended the Alliance High School. We have a rich history of traditions that have been held for the last 100 years, Your Excellency. As the principal did indicate to you, The pastoral care of the children and the young men in this school begins early in the morning with a service every morning in the school chapel, with the exception of Saturdays. So 6 days out of 7 days, these young men have a service in the morning ahead of their day's work. And we were taught, and they are still taught, that we are men who are strong to serve. And that is why we go out to serve the world. And we serve fellow men faithfully, because we were taught to believe that in serving fellow men faithfully, we are serving the Lord and doing our work in this world. Your Excellency, I do not want to belabor a lot on what is the Alliance High School, because you have been told a lot this morning, and you also know a lot about this school. Let me take this opportunity to, in a very special way, thank you. Because as the principal told you when he received you this morning, since former President Daniel Arap Moi built to us the new block and the administration block in 1989, the only other administration of the government of Kenya that has invested immensely in the infrastructural development of this school is your administration, which in the last 3 years, Your Excellency, has invested hundreds of millions in this school. From the facilities that you have opened for us today, to many others, Your Excellency, which I know when you come here, you will deliver, because you are now an old boy of this school. And the principal did indicate to you that we refer to the Alliance High School, not Alliance boys, because they are only men in the Alliance High School. And also we want to have, in that connotation of the Alliance High School, our sisters at the girls' school across, who, Your Excellency, because none of their board members or their teachers will speak, allow me to speak on their behalf, because they did send me, under the able leadership of Madam Njeru, to request you to support further infrastructural development at their school. They have an extra 607 girls that the Ministry of Education has sent to their school in grade 10 this year, and therefore they need a 600 or 650 capacity seater dormitory and an extra 10 classrooms. Your Excellency, through your government, we have been able to improve the infrastructure, not just in this school, but also around Kikuyu constituency. And the roads that get into this school and those that are going to the girls' school are already under construction, and I know the girls' school are waiting for work to begin. We began with this school because of this event today, but very soon, under the leadership of the CS Roads and Infrastructure, who was here about 3 weeks ago, the contractor will be moving to the girls' school to be able to pave the roads for them. Your Excellency, nikimalizia, allow me, you have heard, I left this school in 1994 as a Smith House captain and senior prefect in charge of punishment. And I did promise that we would enforce discipline even today. That is why, Your Excellency, you have seen, as has been customary in Kiambu County, wherever you are in a function, there's a lot of heckling. We have made sure that in this function, it remains a very solemn occasion and not a political heckling occasion. And I want to promise Your Excellency that in all events that you will attend in Kikuyu, I shall effectively enforce that discipline as a former senior prefect in charge of discipline. However, Your Excellency, we have a political class with us, and I want to introduce members of parliament who are here with us today, beginning with our former member of parliament for Gatundu South and immediate former cabinet secretary for trade, Mheshimiwa Moses Kuria, who tells me he went to a polling station school in Gatundu South. Mheshimiwa Gathoni wa Mushomba, the member of parliament for Githongori. Mheshimiwa Githua Mashukuru, our neighbor from Kabete. Mheshimiwa Njuguna Kawanjiko, the member of parliament for Kiamba constituency. We have an old boy, Mheshimiwa Clive Gisairo, the member for Kitutu Masaba, a very recent old boy of the school. We have the Member of Parliament for Thika, Mheshimiwa Alice Wamboi Nganga. Sante, Your Excellency. I'll not spend a lot of time with many other introductions. Oh, and Mheshimiwa Manduku, who is also an old boy of this school. Mheshimiwa Manduku, also a former managing director of KPA and member of parliament today. Your Excellency, in closing, this school has a tradition that if you leave this school with pending punishment, however long it takes, when you come back, you must complete your punishment. When we checked the records last week, Your Excellency, we were able to discover that the Speaker of the Senate, who left this school in 1992, left with pending 30 minutes of punishment at the school farm. We have since indicated to him with the principal that he has to complete that punishment. And being a lawyer, Your Excellency, he indicated that there is limitation of time and destruction of documents, I'm told, after 10 years. But I have confirmed from none other than another old boy, a judge of the Supreme Court of Kenya, Isaac Lenaola, that there is no limitation of time on criminal matters. And the crime that the Speaker of the Senate was accused of was a crime of draining in the dining hall. Your Excellency, draining was taking more than your usual 1 cup of tea. And that was considered to be a criminal offense. Therefore, Speaker Kingi, as I invite you, please plead with the newest old boy of the school, His Excellency the President, to negotiate for you an amnesty so that you may live with the honor and to plead for you for amnesty.
Thank you. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, colleague leaders in government, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I want to confirm to you, before I make my short remarks, that I don't have any pending punishment time. And therefore, whatever Kimani Ichung'wah has just said to please himself, reminding himself that he still, or rather he served as a prefect in charge of punishment. And Kimani Ichung'wah, as my junior, because I left here in 1992, I had the occasion, you know, there's bad blood between me and Kimani Ichung'wah because of what happened when he joined Form 1 here. We had to discipline him. And I think he's still carrying that bile with him. Your Excellency, welcome to the Alliance. 37 years ago, I walked through these gates and joined this community. And for 4 years, Your Excellency, I was here. I can say the 4 years I spent in this institution, those are the 4 years that shaped my life. And I believe for many who've gone through this institution. This institution is not just an academic giant. It is a center of excellence holistically. There are 4 pillars that define this institution. The academic pillar, there is the spiritual pillar. This is the only institution just before you go to class, you have to go for church service. And if you're a Muslim, you go for Muslim prayers before you start your day. Very strong spiritually. The physical pillar as an institution is very strong in sports. Your Excellency, I think when you came to my village to bury my dad, I gave you a story about how I scored my goals in my primary school. Where you're seated today, this is the upper field, soccer upper field. This is where I scored many goals. But this time around, Your Excellency, I was wearing a proper soccer kit. Not like the goal I scored in Kamale, where I had to choose between scoring a goal or holding my shuka. And I chose to score the goal, and of course, you know the state I was in when I was scoring that goal. The other strong pillar is the social pillar. The students who come through this institution are molded, are taught to be strong socially. And there's a tradition, I don't know whether it's still there, but I remember when I joined this institution in 1989 as a Form 1, that very first week, my guardian, because one thing that I really thank this school for, if there's a tradition that I hold dear from this school, is that when you join this school, the first thing the school does is to give you a guardian. As a Form 1, you're assigned to a guardian, a Form 2, who will teach you about the school and make you settle and settle pretty fast. But the first thing that that guardian will do, I don't know whether that tradition is still being practiced, is in your house. I was in Agri House, Dome 8. In your house, there's a list that is given from across the Alliance Girls High School. We used to call them acrogens. I believe you still call them acrogens, is it? So a list to be sent, because we have sister house. You know, every house in Alliance High School has a sister house across. So then a list of girls will be sent, and your guardian will give you a name of a girl. And he'll make sure you write a letter every week. After a few weeks, we would arrange for sister house come together. That's the time, for the first time, you'll get to know the girl you've been writing letters to. Your Excellency, I had a very fun experience in that regard. And I was very tiny when I joined Form 1. And the name of the girl was given when the school captain and the house captain organized for the sister house social gathering, and we were introduced to the girls who've been writing the letters to. I realized I was writing a letter to a very tall girl. I used to talk to her while, you know. But again, it taught us how to interact with members of the opposite sex, how to be confident when you're meeting members of the opposite sex. And I believe that confidence that was inculcated in the boys who are here, we had no problems whatsoever when it came to approaching the other gender when we were looking for our wives. We are very confident people as members who went through this particular school. Your Excellency, the other experience I got when I was here, remember when it came to my village, now you can imagine from that village to this institution, I was overwhelmed. It is on this ground that I first wore my closed shoes for the first time. And walking was an issue. So my guardian would give me lessons in the dormitory. I'll walk from one corner of the dormitory to the other, exercising on how to walk with closed shoes. Because in primary, I never had the privilege of wearing closed shoes. I found that extremely hilarious. Just like P.S. Bitoka said, this is a school of many fasts. This institution is the first institution to produce the first government 844 government cabinet minister. The first 844 government cabinet minister came from this institution, Your Excellency. And that is none other than yours truly. So I'm very proud to have gone through this institution. On a more serious note, Your Excellency, allow me, on behalf of the Alliance Fraternity, to appreciate, to register our appreciation for your helping hand in changing the face of this institution. You know, when we're walking around, the CS in charge of Interior kept saying that we did not have a school because of the buildings. But I told him Alliance was not known for the buildings. Alliance was known for the brains. And that is what we pride ourselves with, brains. But Your Excellency, you've come here, you've extended your hand of help, and today the face of this institution has greatly changed. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. And again, Your Excellency, on matters education, administration has done so much in this country. Under 3 years, and this is something that no president has ever achieved since independence. Under 3 years, Your Excellency, your administration has been able to employ 100,000 teachers, a record that has never been set, and a record that I believe will never be broken. Under 3 years, Your Excellency, you have been able to build 23,000 classrooms for our young ones and counting. Under 2 years, Your Excellency, you managed to streamline the funding model for students in universities. Those days when we're in universities, it doesn't matter your social status, whether you're from a poor family or you're from a rich family. Everybody will be given the same amount. But today, because of streamlining the funding model, the poor are able to get more funding compared to those who are from well-to-do families. And that is what equity is all about. The PS has talked about capitation. For the first time, Your Excellency, money meant for capitation gets to school before the schools open. You have done tremendous work in the education sector, and we can only appreciate the effort you have done together with your government. Your Excellency, mine was not to make a speech, and therefore, ladies and gentlemen, kindly join me in welcoming His Excellency the President to make his speech. Karibu, usuje, uongee na watu wa Alliance. Hata wewe unaweza sema ulienda Alliance. Karibu. Karibu.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Tafadhali tunaweza keti chini. Viongozi wetu, maaskofu, mlio hapa, askofu wetu wa kanisa la AIC Kenya, askofu wetu wa kanisa la ACK hapa Nairobi, askofu wetu wa Methodist letu la Kenya, na askofu wetu emeritus from the PCA Church, viongozi wote pamoja na wanafunzi wa Alliance High School and Alliance Girls, good afternoon. Mjambo. Before I make my statement, when I was invited to be part of this very solemn occasion to celebrate 100 years of Alliance High School, I was that it was going to be a formal meeting. Therefore, I prepared a formal statement. I was warned that the standards in Alliance High School are very high. I have noticed from everything that has gone on here that indeed the standards here at Alliance High School are very high. I must admit that the alumni of this school have held this school and the esteem of this school to a very high standard. I work with many who serve in my administration with many people from Alliance. And they never stop to inform us and to remind us that they went to Alliance. And I like the fact that they are very proud of this great institution. The same way they are very proud of this institution, we should learn from them, and be very proud to be Kenyan. This is the Alliance, and you are an institution of many fasts. For those of us who were not privileged to be at Alliance, we went to other very great institutions. Just for good record, I was student number 616 in Wareng High School, a school that I am very proud of. And then I joined Kapsabet Boys High School, where I was student number 5065, one of the greatest institutions in the Republic of Kenya. And let me just, to set the record straight, Alliance came into being in 1926. Kapsabet Boys High School came into being in 1925. That's just a statement. Let me also tell you one more thing as we celebrate Alliance High School. Of the 5 presidents of the Republic of Kenya, of the 5, 2 of them are alumni of Kapsabet Boys High School. But do we say I am in no way trying to belittle the achievements of this great institution. I'm just making statements of fact. I know this is the alliance, but there is also the University of Nairobi. And again, the University of Nairobi is the only university in Kenya that has produced a president for our country. I guess you don't want me to continue. Distinguished guests, members of the Alliance community, ladies and gentlemen, very few institutions are privileged to mark 100 years of continuous existence, and fewer still do so while remaining faithful to their founding ideals. Alliance High School stands tall among that rare and distinguished company. Across the world, the institutions that endure, those that outlast leaders, outlast generations, and outlast the fleeting trends of the day, share a defining trait. They are anchored in values that do not bend with every passing season. A century ago, Alliance High School, or Bush, as is fondly known, began as a bold and visionary experiment, an effort to educate African boys to the highest possible standards, with character at its firm foundation. Subsequently, generation after generation, the influence of this great institution has permeated every sphere of life in our communities, across our nation, and beyond. From the outset, Alliance was not designed merely to teach generations of young men what to think. Rather, it endeavored to teach them how to think, and more importantly, how to stand for themselves, to cherish their families, to protect their communities, and to contribute meaningfully to the progress of our country and indeed humanity. There is much that we as a nation can learn from the Alliance story. At the core of this institution's century-long endurance stands a powerful triad of values that has guided and sustained it through every season. First, of being guided by the high standards that are non-negotiable. From the very beginning, the founders of this great institution understood an enduring truth. Competition without standards is mere illusion. This is a lesson we must take seriously and to made an uneasy pact with mediocrity, settling for the average, and at times choosing to go along simply to get along. That Kenya is to realize her full potential. We must demand the high standards of ourselves in our classrooms, in the public service, in enterprise, and in every aspect of our life. The second lesson we draw from the institution is is that on any day, discipline and hard work triumphs over talent. This is perhaps has imparted to its students over the years. As we know, this to be the true, far beyond the classroom, talent is abundant in every generation. Ideas are plentiful in every decade. As a nation, we have produced in copious volumes from the sessional paper number 10 of 1965 all the way to edition 2030. Kenya ambitious development blueprints. What has often been tested is the discipline required to execute them consistently, diligently, and faithfully. For this reason, that over the past 3 years, we have deliberately focused on implementing chapter by page, line by line, paragraph by paragraph, the commitments upon which the people of Kenya to this administration. Some of these decisions have not been easy. Indeed, had we listened with caution, some of the progress now visible across the country would not have been possible. Today, in every part of Kenya, steadily changing as thousands of affordable housing units rise and families transition from substandard conditions to modern, dignified homes. In fact, after this occasion, I will be visiting the affordable housing across here in Kikuyu. In the health sector, nearly 30 million Kenyans are now covered under the Social Health Authority from the previous system, bringing the promise of universal health coverage closer to reality. In agriculture, our deliberate shift towards supporting production rather than merely subsidizing consumption is strengthening. At the same time, reforms in our education sector are restoring stability to institutions of higher learning while advancing the successful transition to the competence-based education system. And while there, let me be proud of what all the on matters education. I say this because if there is one single most important development that we should never compromise on, it is the education. It is the principal reason why, on assuming office and looking at the challenges that were there in our education system, controversy about CBC, there were huge of classrooms and learning spaces. There was a very and shortage of teachers in our classrooms, and there was a of funding for our tertiary and university institutions. In fact, 21 universities are technically insolvent. I want to thank parents and other stakeholders of purpose that we worked together. The Presidential Working Party that I established. Today, I tell this audience, as I tell the nation, that we have substantially sorted out the challenges we had in our education sector. As has been said here, we have completed curriculum, and now we are undertaking competence-based education, a matter that I believe in as the right trajectory for us as a nation. We have enhanced our budget, rightfully so, from about 500 billion in 2022 to 700 billion today. And in fact, in our 2026-2027, we are elevating 65 billion. Why? Because the education of our children is important and necessary. I have been informed by Mwalimu Chomba here that in the last 3 years, we have sent 32 teachers to this institution. Of the 100,000 teachers that we've hired, this institution has benefited from 32 teachers. I want to confirm to you that we are not yet done with making sure that there are sufficient teachers to teach our children. In the next budget, we're going to hire another 16,000 teachers to make sure that we close the gap that currently exists. I also want to state here that as part of making sure that that space is properly attended to, we've changed the funding model so that we make sure that our institutions of higher learning have the requisite resources to teach all our children at the university and all our TVETs. And of course, we have expanded the learning spaces. We built 23,000 classrooms. In Nairobi alone, we've done 800 new classrooms because, especially in Nairobi, we have a very serious challenge of learning spaces. And we will continue to make sure that education continues to be a right for every child of the Republic of Kenya, not a privilege for those who have the means. Ladies and gentlemen, the third lesson we draw from Alliance is the uncompromising pursuit of excellence, the discipline to give our very best, even when no one is watching, and when no one is pushing us, and even when there is no applause. This is the highest expression of character. True excellence is neither situational nor episodic. It is habitual. It is who you are when supervision is absent and when recognition is uncertain and when applause is not coming. If Kenya is to realize her full potential, if we are to build a nation that is truly great, then we must commit ourselves deliberately and without hesitation to the quiet but demanding values that have built enduring institutions such as the Alliance. We must commit to higher standards that we refuse to dilute, discipline that we practice consistently, and excellence that we pursue faithfully. Dear Busharians, allow me to make one additional observation. National institutions such as Alliance High School are enduring symbols of our collective pride and shared aspiration. Like our great public universities, they have been nurtured, strengthened, and preserved through the collective will, sacrifice, and commitment of generations of Kenyans. These institutions, therefore, do not belong to any one individual or group. Irrespective of where they are situated, they belong to all Kenyans. And it is our shared responsibility to protect their legacy, uphold their standards, and ensure that they continue to inspire excellence for generations to come. Looking at the alumni of this school, and just the sample of example that is here, Kenyans from across the Republic, over generations, have been admitted to this school. Amos Wako, I see Amos Wako here, our AG Emeritus, all the way from Busia. I see Judge of Supreme Court, the Honorable Enaola, all the way from Samburu. The Honorable Amason Kingi, all the way from Magarini. I see Ekwe Turo here, all the way from Turkana. That is the DNA of a great institution called the Alliance. That is how we forge a nation. A blend of communities, religions, races. That is what makes Kenya strong. And that is why you say in the Alliance, strong to serve. And Alliance gives us the best example of what Kenya should truly be. And nobody should be allowed to dilute what Alliance stands for. Alliance stands for unity in diversity. We are here together from all parts of Kenya. And that is why in this alliance, I'm very proud that the founders of this great institution did not think about the church they came from. It was the unity, the coming together of the Methodist Church, the Anglican Church, the Presbyterian Church, the Africa Inland Church, a church I belong to, that came together because in unity we are strong. And that is what defines us as a nation. And I say so proudly from this platform of the Alliance. That is the nation we want to build. The nation that is proud to be Kenyan. The same way I see the alumni of this school, whenever we meet them, you know, you have had the troubles we go through. Whenever we have 2-3 Alliance people, they really terrorize some of us. But the pride they have in this institution is what cements their brotherhood. And that is what we must do as a nation. And I want to tell the Alliance, what you are doing is a great example for our nation. And the government of Kenya and my administration is going to stand with you to make sure the legacy of this institution lives. It is the reason why when the Board of Management visited me when I was Deputy President, and they came because of the chapel. And again, they visited me in 2023 to come and explain to me what the requirements of this institution were. And they told me then, 2 years ago, that, Mr. President, we want you to come for the 100-year celebration